This is going to be another session on astro mind reading, which I'm using astronumerology as well as the inverted triangle, and I'm coming up with a lot of information in a short while. The numbers actually equal planets, and when two planets, two numbers come together, it causes an action, a thought. It's so encompassing. The reason people think the way they do during a certain period is because two planets come together, and the result of those two planets bring a certain thinking, bring a certain action, and bring certain change. So we're going to go over some more information and see if we can come up with more ideas and concepts on how this happens. Now, let's say we take somebody born on September 12, 1971. First of all, as soon as you see the achievement, the day of birth, in any September month, you know they have a 3 achievement because it's 1 and 2 is 3. A 12-3 is their day of birth, and because it's September and 9, it brings it back to a 3. 3 and 9 is 12. 12 equals 3. So whenever you have a 9, you have a you have the same as the day is for the achievement, but they have a 21-3 achievement. 12 and 9 is 21, and we're looking at the year 2019, which is a 21-3 year. So basically, it's a 3 year. And when you take the 21 achievement, you add 3, you get a 24 period. So we're gonna start looking at that, and they're in basically a 24-6 year, which I have right here. So you take the 21. The 3 for 2019, it's a 24. We start putting all the ones in their entire birthday. Now we use the year too. Before we were just using the day and the month and the current year, 2019. But now we're also going to use their birth year. So now they have 1, 2, 3 ones, and we put it in the 6 because they're in a 24-6 year. Now, then we look at 2s. We put 2s in the 7th house. There's no 3s. There's no 4s, so we're not putting anything in the 8th or 9th house. There's no 5s, no 6s. There's 1 7, so that goes in the 3rd house. There's no 8s, so there's nothing in the 4th house. There's 2 9s, and that goes in the 5th house. So now we try to see, do we have all the numbers? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have 7 numbers. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got all the numbers now because we added up to 7. So now we're looking at the chart and we're saying, what do we have here? I put a little diagram from this corner to this corner. This is the arrow of emotional balance. And it means that they feel like people around them are being pretty honest with them and trustworthy and dependable. Because sometimes when you have this thing about the arrow of suspicion, if this was like very void, it means that sometimes that it isn't that they don't like the person, they don't trust or depend on them, which is a terrible thing. So now they have the arrow of emotional balance, so they're pretty good with people around them. What is changing? Around a partner or a female, they're finding out something. And it could have to do with education, religion, or medical or beauty things. Beauty things could be losing weight, watching what they eat, sugar, changing their hairstyle, whatever, or a health situation. So this is what they're finding out about. And around 7, it's in the house of young people, children, siblings, social situations. And when you have a 7 and a 9 together, that's why I did this, it means that they have some peace of mind about what's happening. And what's changing is there's some kind of ending going on, something stopping or discontinuing, and they feel it's fair, or this is what they're actually planning. And and they've made a decision. People with 2 nines are generally pretty smart. This is what we find out. So when you have Neptune, which is 7, with Mars, which is 9, and you have the moon over here, which is in 7, there are a lot of emotions towards what they're finding out. But 7-9 usually is peace of mind on the Kai-Shi scale. It means what's happening, they're happy with. It's not that they're in control of everything. Now, on the money and the health line, it deals with a partner or a female, is what seems to be strong. But they're on a decision, they were forced to do something, because in the 1 column, it's now in the 6 column. And the 6 has to do, going back to, they're in a 24/6 year, it goes back that they're having a lot of money decisions, or a decision with a male, M-A-L-E, which is also exemplified by the 1. The 1 means, first of all, when you put it on the chart, it's the person themselves. But once it's on the chart, then we're looking at it as the world around them, and not so much themselves as when we put it on the chart. So with the male or a financial matter and a family situation, they have to do something because they don't have a choice, and the 1s are in the 6th column. So it's interesting, but they feel good about their decisions. So I'm just giving you the key to this. This is what the 7-9 is. Now, with a partner, there's a lot happening. They're finding out something, it's changing, something's ending, and they're feeling good about it. Now, the 24/6, generally, the life cycle, is the assistance of or association of well-known or important people. It's a little different than the 23/5, which is help from people in high places and superiors. That's different. That's like a boss, a manager, somebody in authority. A 24/6 is somebody that's well known to you or your family, and it also is that they help you out in some way, some important person. So now they're in a 24/6 year. We put it in an inverted triangle or pyramid. And the first part of the year, there's a reorganization of finances. They're in the 26. 26 is considered lucky, and it brings opportunities through reorganization. If you look at the compound numbers and you download it from the internet, you'll find that the 26 is a very lucky kind of thing. It's not like the 35. It pulls a little away from it. There's not as much concern about bad associations, but I find there's always a reorganization. Then between about April to June, there's a change in place and plans going on, because you have 6 and 7, which is 13. And you have Neptune and Venus right over here to this thing. And you have 1 across from the 6, which I think I put somewhere right there. Okay, 1 and 6, and some problem gets resolved, particularly around a male, M-A-L-E, because the 16th card of the tarot is you see a man falling out of a tower with a crown in his hand. The 61's the opposite. It's instead of a concern, sometimes there's a return of a meal or some good news about a meal or a happy situation with a meal. But it seems to relate to a change in place and plans. Now, at the apex of the year, you have a 7. 7 has to do with religion, learning, medical situations, and that kind of thing. You have a 4 on the top, which is the 47. That's friendships through money or work situations, and something seem to straighten out between July and September. because you have a 71. 17 is meeting and overcoming the trials and tribulations of your life and career. The 71 straightens things out. It's the opposite. You know, where instead of 1-7, you got 7-1. So things take care of themselves. The end of the year, between October and December, there's some kind of a problem or a meal going away or some detachment with a meal, which is the number 16. So it's interesting when you see the way this is all done in like 10 minutes, and I'm even teaching this. You can see that if I wasn't going through the trouble of teaching this and arrows and going back and forth in a learning-like way, you could do this if you practice it a little bit in a couple of minutes, and you can come up with a heck of a lot. And it's an amazing thing. You'll be surprised how you hit the nerve of a lot of people.